Arsenal started like house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Yes, now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. And as Rhiannon said, it must be a record for how late I am, or we are. I'm always late. It has to be said, right? A couple of minutes even there. I've seen you taking bets, even in some scenarios, how late I will be. I bet Nonny has picked like 45 minutes. But I'm going to hand you over to Lewis, and he's going to apologise to you all.
Yeah, sorry everyone, this is completely on me. We had a new show of mine to record that will be out tomorrow on LUFC Lewis, nice little plug, called The Late Leeds Show. It was a lot of fun, great blast, but we ran slightly over time. But it was not meant to be recorded on Wednesdays. I'm going to record it on Tuesdays in future, so we shouldn't have this problem again. I am sorry. Let's get into the midweek fix anyway. Let's go.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Thank you. Yeah, listen, we've just had a who filming that, doing it. I can't wait for the edited final copy. It's going to be fun, I think.
Hopefully. I hope you enjoy.
Might be able to do YouTube after it. We'll wait and see. But yeah, listen, thanks all for being here. As you can see, we brought Ollie with us as well. Ollie was doing the show, and I said, Ollie, are you doing anything? He said, no. I said, right, let's get you on over. Ollie, how are you doing? And welcome back.
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Thank you for having me back on. Can't wait to talk Leeds United, as always.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you're here as
the
well.
Midweek 5.
What's that?
The Midweek 5.
5-a-side team, right?
Yeah, true.
That's not bad. JT, you were waiting patiently, just like the audience as well, waiting for us because you weren't in the show this week. But
yeah, I was told I was surplus to requirements.
Wasn't invited, didn't want him on, couldn't be bothered with the competition, didn't want it for 3 hours. I knew I was going to get it on here as well. I thought, I can't be bothered. Nah, Max beat him to it in the chat, really. That's all that mattered.
He said, you're a dirty, stinking mong. I don't want you anywhere near my channel, you little peasant. And plus, he thought I'd probably get him cancelled instantly. So I was probably wise decision. So
hey, that will come about at some point. Don't worry. You will be on a mock the league.
Yeah, it should be good, man. It should be good. Looking forward to it.
It will be. I have put all the lads' channels in the title of this video, so please do go on over and subscribe to each of their channels. We are going to touch on Southampton, the positives and negatives. In the middle, we're going to talk about the transfer situation at Leeds United. Will we or won't we? And then we'll finish up with some Chelsea chat. So let's get straight into the Southampton game and the positives and negatives. I'll start us off. My positive, I forgot. What did I put? Jack Harrison.
Yeah, this is starting off with a roaring success here, boys.
I know.
Thank you so much for waiting up for this one. This is going to be
JT, let's not talk about stuff going wrong and pauses because there's a reason we're half an hour late doing the show.
Yeah.
That's why it's not live. But Jack Harrison, were you positive, Joe?
Yes, Jack Harrison was my positive. I think we actually had a question over on your show, mate, about who had created the most chances in that first game against Wolves. And then, I stuck him in my FPL team based on that knowledge. And then he went and got an assist for Rodrigo. I thought he ran himself into the ground and... he should have been substituted because he was paggered both mentally and physically. But in terms of performance, Aronson aside, I think Harrison's been the standout performer for me. I know a lot will say Rodrigo, and I hear that because he's scored 3 goals, and that's what people remember. But I just think as a fan base, we're quite underappreciative of what Jack Harrison does. And I think he deserves the props. So my main positive from that Southampton game is the performances of Jack Harrison. Has anyone got any thoughts on Jack Harrison thus far?
Energy, tenacity. The guy works his socks off, to be honest. Sometimes I look at him and I just want, he has so much talent. There's just that little bit missing from him. Sometimes he's a little bit hesitant to take a man on and he'll stumble over his footing. And once he gets that into his game, once he gets that last bit of confidence in, he's got the energy. He's got the work rate. He's got the desire. And let me tell you something. His delivery, it was very questionable when he first came to Leeds United. But now it is Amazon Prime next day delivery. It is saucy. That whipping for Rodrigo's goal. Woo! God damn, he's got a peach of a left foot, man.
I've been a big advocate of Jack Harrison for a while now. I remember saying a few weeks back when we were on about selling him that he's just underrated massively. The actual goal contributions he gets is up there with the likes of Rafinha. It may not be as easy on the eye as Rafinha when he's playing, but his goal contributions cannot be underrated. Like, he is a big source of goals and assists for our team. So I just think he's brilliant, and he continues to earn his place in the team, not just get it because he's been there for a few years.
Yeah, Ollie D. Turley says he looks like a man playing for a transfer. Are you concerned at all about that?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think I actually had a conversation with a couple of people about Click when he came on. I know we're moving on a bit, but Click, when he came on, is that him? People are saying, like, look, this is why we've got to keep him, or is he auditioning for a new team? Maybe that's
harsh,
what
man.
some people.
That's harsh.
I don't know. It's not even. That's not even a negative comment towards him. That's just like, you know what? You saw him in. I don't know if people saw the under-23s game. He didn't look bothered, and then he shows what he can do. You know,
was
when
he
he
just
comes on.
not just clicking into gear against better competition?
That is right, JT. I have missed you. No, Harrison. He's kind of like our poster boy now. I love Jack Harrison. I think he's going to have a brilliant season. He's already started off very well.
He has.
The question should be, why would he want out? It's not as though he's not starting.
Yeah.
Or you know, I mean,
money.
Yeah, everybody likes him.
Benjamin Franklin.
But when you've got Cine and everyone back, then maybe you may start to see a different starting 11 based on form or injury or whatever it may be. But as of right now, don't see why he would be advertising a move for himself. The only thing would be the club advertising the move, because we want rid, which we don't, and I don't see why we would, unless we needed the money, which we're not even bothered about signing Dennis for 12 million. So I don't see why we want 35. But yeah, no, Harrison, if he can stay consistent, man, he's one of top 3 players in this club. 100%.
But what if Newcastle turn around and they say, "Hang on a second, son, we're going to offer you 150 grand a week"? Then what's it? Is that not going to turn his head?
150 million.
Yeah, so is
No,
I.
150.
Well, that's not for me to say, really. I mean, money does talk. I can't sit here and say, "Oh, Jack's all about money." Not every player is about that. It's a very quick conclusion to jump to and say, you offer a player more money than they're currently getting and they're going to go there.
Oh, I think 99% of human beings will go for it.
But,
I do think, though, that
he's got mates here, he lives round here, his family's round. There's all that to take into consideration. It's not a case of just thinking, right, I'm going to get an extra 20 grand a week, I'm going to move 2 hours away. When I'm in a good position here, I'm starting, I'm one of the club's best players, I'm one of the best assets. I could be worth more money, I could get a better offer in a year if I work hard. You know, it's all these things, and I don't see him being unhappy. I don't see him being not good enough. I don't see why he'd leave, why he'd want to leave, why we'd want to sell him, unless we needed the money.
Yeah. Well, let's we'll go around with positives, but before we do, we've had some super chats come in, and I want to make sure I get them in, because last time I'm leaving them late, and then they have no relevance whatsoever, and people pay super chats for that reason. So I am going to come to them. And the first one we had was Colin Kerwin, who says 2-1 Leeds United. I'm assuming in for the Chelsea game. I hope you're right, mate. He says the only problem with winning this one is we'll think we are invincible and then lose against Barnsley or Everton. Happy with 4 points so far. Thanks, lads. Thanks for your super chat and thanks for joining us, Colin. My good man Smudge says, hello, gang. The loss is all our Jesse's to own. How he got the game management so wrong 1 week after getting it so right against Wolves is beyond me. Hit the nail on the head there for me, Smudge. And my good friend, It's Matty Official, says, evening, boys. Hope you're all well. How are the nerves for Sunday? I think we are all nervous, but excited, man. This is what we're in the Premier League for.
Nervous. It's going to be easy.
Easy. Well done on your boxing match as well, Matty. I seen it on Instagram that you'd won whatever bout it was. You were in sick shape.
You had a fight.
So fair play. Yeah, you had a fight.
Let's get some ones in the chat for Matty. Let's get some ones in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Max, give us your positive, mate.
My positive was in the 70 minutes when we were on top, the press worked so well. And it's all well and good talking about the tactics and how he wants to have a high press all the time and how he wants his players to be exactly halfway between the opposition players so that they're in an optimal position to press. All these things he says, it's all well and good them being on paper, but we actually saw them properly working in that game. The amount of times Southampton gave the ball away and it would go straight back to a Leeds player. Maybe Leeds would lose it again. Straight back to a Leeds player. Tyler Adams in there, working his ass off to get that ball every single time. And I think we did it so well when we were in the ascendancy and when we were doing well. I think we did so well at winning the ball back and showing that every time we win it, we want to go forward again. And I just think it was like a perfect example of Jesse's system working properly. Obviously, stuff happened later on, but if I'm just talking about the positive, I really enjoyed seeing that unfold before my eyes. All the tactics that we've talked about and we've looked into, you could see it physically working properly, and it was just really good to see.
Yeah, I think one of the main things I said last season was we don't have a plan. I remember doing a video going into that Chelsea game saying, we don't have a plan. What's the plan? Can someone tell me what the plan is? However, this season, I see the plan. And I am really impressed with that.
It's very encouraging, isn't it? That's what I'm happy with.
Yes,
that you can see that there's a proper plan there. Because last season, everyone was saying we need to go wide because everything was just bunched up in the middle. Yep. I think he's made a little bit of a compromise and we do play a little bit wider, but we look more controlled in there now. And I really enjoyed seeing an actual plan come into action.
I think it goes back to what I said on the show before we came on here about when Aronson gets the ball. That's one thing where when Aronson picks the ball up, you know what's going to happen. Last season was more just about you didn't really know what system we had. You didn't know we were going to start. You didn't know we were going to be where. You didn't know what we're going to come from what. And it was just a case of staying up. Now, you have things you're going to recognise. Aronson gets the ball. You know that 2 out of 3 times you're going to get a dangerous attack because he's just got that mentality of I'm going to make something happen, which we haven't had since Pablo. And it's...
Not with Raf?
Huh?
Not with Raf?
No, I'm talking central, like... You've got options left and right, or you could go for goal himself. Raf was that. He did have that determination of making something happen, but I'm talking about the number 10, essentially, is what I mean. And
it's interesting, though. What do you think? Because he's been playing Aronson a bit wider recently, hasn't he? I was expecting him to play like directly behind the striker, but he's actually been playing in the wide attacking midfield role. Would you rather have him there or in the central?
I would rather have him central, and I think that was due to the fact that Cini was unfit. I think if Cini would have got through pre-season, he would have had Harrison, Aronson, Cini and Bamford. That's why I don't get all this love for Rodrigo, because for me, no,
JT, hold off.
Wait there. Just let me land this. I'm just saying that in a different scenario, I don't even think Rodrigo would have started for me. And then all of a sudden, people are telling me, "Oh, he's a striker. He's the number one." Bielsa and Marsh both never played him up top because he didn't work there, and he's done it for 45 minutes, and everyone's going, "Oh my God, we've got Spain's number 9 again." Chill. 2 games. Chill.
Yeah,
we have Europe's number 9. Excuse me, top goal scorer in the Premier League. Absolute source. The intelligence, all right, that is a proper striker's goal, that second goal there. He notices everyone else is half asleep. They think, oh, he's going to be well offside.
Second goal.
His second goal. Yeah,
second goal was me. Second goal was me in every single year 11 football match.
No. Everyone else switched off like a PS4 controller that's been unplugged and it's been out in the heat for too long, all right? He noticed it. He noticed that Kyle Walker-Peters was playing him onside. Everyone else thought, oh, he's going to be well off. Let's keep a high line. He looked over. He saw what no one else saw. He anticipated that Walker-Peters was playing him onside. He slowly drifted in the back and got himself in the beautiful position.
No, he saw a Strout goal and he thought, no, I want to bring it.
Going in.
It was going in. But the first goal, no arguments with that. I thought you were on
great
about the
finish.
when you said second goal.
No.
I was like, that's the worst.
The
example.
second was,
Yeah.
it was a great run.
Nah,
It was a
the
great run.
first goal, his run and finish was.
For me, that
Both of
that
them.
first goal, I think that's been worked on the training ground and is something that Jesse's been tracked, because Bamford had a very similar chance in the first half, and it looks like it was an exact like carbon copy of them trying that again and thinking, right, it didn't work the first time, but we got the opportunity. And
Owned it,
so
didn't he?
they did the exact same thing, and Rodrigo was able to lift it over the goalkeeper. And when you watch the replay, Rodrigo makes that run from deep purposely directly towards that front post, as if he knows exactly where that ball's going to be played, because he's just done it so many times on the
Which
training
literally
ground.
goes back to what we just said in terms of having a feel for what's going to happen and what we're going to see throughout the season. Even set pieces is a massive one. Every set piece we have now.
But who made that
good.
pass for
I
that
thought
Bamford
that
shot? Out
very
of
quickly.
curiosity,
Go back to that. What you said.
who
good,
made
wasn't
that pass for the Bamford shot? First of all,
Playing
just
Rodrigo
a quick
front all
question.
season is
Oh,
like
was it
doing
Rodrigo who made the pass and then Bamford didn't do it, so he had to show him how it's done? Was that kind of what
I
happened?
was too busy reading the Stevie Wonder comment to hear what you said.
I didn't see Stevie Wonder.
Neither did he.
Hey,
I got it.
I saw a lot of Stevie Wonder vision in the second half with our midfield.
Joe just did a fake
Hey, up the ball,
rim
come on.
shot and then realised he's actually got one.
Yeah.
He's
we have got a recognisable and promising and entertaining system now. The only worry is just the defending again. And in my opinion, sometimes not just going for it when we should. Just shoot, man.
Yeah.
That's
Try and
my
walk in the
yeah,
net.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's like.
Let me just clear something up, because we've sidetracked to some. I don't hate Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, changing your tune now, changing your story.
No, I don't hate Rodrigo.
He don't hate Rodrigo and he don't hate Marsh.
I'm just.
He doesn't hate him; he hates him.
I'm just not about to change my opinion after 2 games of a 30.
Exactly.
You're changing your opinion on Marsh though, because
He
you
does
were.
prefer-
But you're going to change your opinion
I
on
won't
Marsh
have it.
after 2 games, but not on Rodrigo.
No, JC, I won't have it.
no,
He
that's
does
different,
not.
bro.
He
Come
does
on.
not prefer Bamford and Bielsa, right? I'm not having it. He doesn't. He doesn't hate Rodrigo and Marsh. He doesn't prefer Bamford and Bielsa. There's no
Obviously, I
preference.
prefer it.
Shut up, man! I'm trying to get you out of that hole. No, but
I don't know.
just, you're not convinced on him yet. You're not sold
No,
on him
no.
just because he's kind of essentially been the only striker to score, but he has, so you can't knock him for it.
I think the main thing is to not let this. I think the main thing is to not let this Rodrigo bit of form paper over the cracks of the fact that we need a striker. It's very easy for. Remember when people were tweeting saying they wanted Conor Gallagher, and Rads replied saying, "For sure." It's very easy for them to say, "Oh well, Rodrigo's our new striker. He's had a renaissance. He's come back to life, and he's going to score loads of goals for us this season."
Yeah.
It's obviously not going to last forever because we've seen the evidence of it. So all I hope is that I hope he keeps scoring and I hope he keeps playing well. I'd be happy with it. But the thing is, I just hope it doesn't paper over the cracks of the fact we do need another striker still.
I just think we've got to take the positives as well. The thing is, we're so easy to say Rodrigo's not the right man or whatever. But the thing is, we've started the season off quite well, and we're such a fan base that always we just can't be, I don't know, a bit happy with someone doing well. Do you know what I mean? Rodrigo's top goal scorer in the league. Yes, he might not continue it, but you got to focus on the now, on the present, on Sunday, and he looks the one who's going to get the goals. But I'm not saying that's a future answer.
No, you're right. I just want to bring up Theo's comments. I don't know if you have noticed this, but I mentioned it, right? I said there's some real Rodrigo propaganda coming this season, right? Before, genuinely, every social media post is one of Rodrigo, and I was like, yo, they're really trying to drive this home, like he's the man.
But that's natural football. You see it everywhere. Even the greatest example I had was Abue at Arsenal. Abue gets booed off at halftime. He gets subbed on, actually. He gets subbed off again, and he's getting booed and jeered by everyone. Everyone's hating on him, piling on, the same way they were piling on Rodrigo last year. All of a sudden, he starts to get a few better performances the next season. And because someone's been so hated for so long, it goes the other way, where when they put in even a decent shift, people are happy for them because they become the underdog. And then all of a sudden it cycles more and more and more until they become an absolute cult hero at the club. And like I said, with Eboué, he left the club as one of the biggest fan favorites. And that's the same kind of mentality people have. People, when they're doing well, they want to see someone get knocked down and do bad. When someone's struggling, they suddenly start liking them more. And that's how you can build a bit of cult mentality. Bamford had a bit of that. I mean, I remember when we were at Derby and we drew 1-1 in the Championship, I went to the toilet. There were two people physically scrapping over Bamford. One of them was like, he's pal. All right, he's terrible. What are you talking about? The other guy's like, oh, what do you mean, pal? He got the penalty. And this guy like pushed him into the urinal. And they were literally having a scrap over Patrick Bamford. Yeah,
Bamford was never.
Well, it wasn't. You know, there wasn't much fist flying, but they were throwing each other around the toilet.
The thing is, I never thought Bamford was the guy. I don't think Bamford was necessarily the guy in the Championship. I remember was it Bamford when he scored against Luton that he done a bit of a thing to our fans, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did because everyone was mugging him off.
Yeah, and I just
he did the same thing at home against
Millwall.
Millwall to put us 3-2 up.
Yeah,
he cupped his ears.
Yeah,
and even me after that game were like, look, man,
you don't have the right, man. You don't have the right.
You can't score one goal in however many games it was, and then
it's like the Harry Maguire knee slide, isn't it?
Man, I love Bamford. I backed Bamford even when he was shit. If we're going to be honest, sorry for swearing, but the war, and he'll know that. He'll know that, right? But I still loved him. I still backed him because I just liked the type of person he was. I liked that, you know, he still came out every week and just.
You like posh guys?
Tried.
Reminds you of yourself.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
Yo, let me address Cycling Fox because I've seen him say you support the team. It's called supporting the team. You're allowed to be critical. You're allowed to be critical and not support the team. I want Rodrigo to score in every single game this season. What I will say is, prior to the start of this season, he could have left for me, right? Yeah. So I ain't going to change my opinion on 2 games. And let me just say something as well about the opponent. We're all looking at that thinking, yo, Southampton, they're both dead. Wolves and Southampton are dead. We know that Rodrigo turns up against the dead teams. Let's wait until we're into this season. Let's wait and see how he does pressing from the front against the Chelsea side. And
Whoa. He scored one of the best goals I've ever watched against Man United.
No, that was actually a class finish.
It was. It was not.
No, it was a class finish.
It was a shot.
Yeah, but right, does he turn up though in them games?
I hit the bar against Chelsea before. Look. Okay, maybe we might not. All right, we won't know that until we see it. And usually, that's not his area of expertise. Plus, he's not really the front man pressing. Usually, he's a bit behind, like you said. Also, do you not sometimes need a player who's a flat track bully? Like Lukaku, who doesn't really turn up against the big teams, but he'll get you a lot of points against the smaller teams and he'll help put them away.
Yeah, but let's not say he's got us a lot of points. This is what I'm saying. There's so much recency bias going on about Rodrigo.
Like, hey, I told you, I saw some guys tweet that was excellent, you know. I tell you about Senior Firpo, you laugh at me. He kills it. I tell you about Rodrigo. You laugh at me. Now he's killing it. I tell you we're going to finish in European places. You laugh at me. Just wait till it happens. I can read the future. I can see the visions. Rodrigo, I can't believe you guys are hating on Rodrigo.
No, I'm not hating on him.
We all think he's played well for the first 2 games. We think he's played well. What we're saying is we don't trust that he will continue that form throughout the entire season. So we think another striker is needed.
Sure, he has played, just because I had an argument about this stuff on Twitter earlier, he has played 59 games for Leeds, right? He's probably had 9 good games. So if you put it in that context, the other 50 have been cash.
Yeah.
The other 50
I'm not going to argue against.
It doesn't necessarily mean good and gash. Like there's a scale.
There's no in between with Rodrigo.
He's not. Right, the thing is, he's never horrendous, but he goes missing.
He goes missing,
a lot of the time as well.
Okay, but look at him since Marshall's come in.
It's like not having him in the team sometimes.
He's
not horrendously bad in terms of he's not flying into tackles, getting red cards and playing awful like that, giving them goals. What he does is he loses the ball in midfield a lot. He doesn't press. And sometimes you just forget that he's on the pitch at all. Now he's not being horrendous there. It's just that he just looks lost in, and maybe that's the position he'd been playing in. But I honestly think his best position for us would be on the bench as an option as a backup striker.
Yeah, I think there's two groups of people. There's one group of people saying, not hating Rodrigo. They don't hate Rodrigo. This group of people is saying just because Rodrigo's hit form, we can't all of a sudden pretend that he's the man, because just because he's hit form now doesn't mean to say that he was always in form, because he wasn't. The same way Bamford wasn't. Bamford wasn't good until he was good. Do you know what I mean? There was two different Bamfords, right? The same that there may now be two different Rodrigos. We don't know what's going to happen. But these people, even though they're happy for Rodrigo, they don't hate him. They're saying, don't let his form cover up the fact that we've got two other strikers who are injury prone and need to get a striker in, right?
Yeah.
That isn't hating Rodrigo. That's just stating the facts. And then there's a different group of people who are just recent events biased, saying just because he's got 3 goals in 2 games that he's now the man and he's good enough and we don't need another striker in. Because if Rodrigo gets injured, we have no strikers. That could be a situation we find ourselves in. Because Bamford and Joffrey are injury prone. If Rodrigo gets injured, we're done for. We need a striker in, and not just a backup championship striker who starts 4 games a season just so we can please the fans by signing a striker on the cheap. Don't get him started on Che Adams, right? But we said it on the other show. We might have even said it on this so far. Dennis, Mope, players like that, right, who are going to Forest.
Now, Mopai might still be on the cards, man.
Oh, no, okay, but I'm saying Dennis, for example, right, is going to Forest, isn't he? Why have we not gone in for him?
Our money don't jiggle like Forest, man. They got mad. How's they got all this cash, bruv? How's this folding? This is wiggling.
Yeah, they're doing a Fulham or Villa, bro.
Oh, they're doing mad. They're doing madder than Fulham. Have you seen the cash?
I know, but I'm not about Forest
180 grand a week on Jesse Lingard, and they're gonna lose him.
It's 80 grand. It's 80 grand. It's not.
No, it's not 80. It's
Yeah,
180, bro.
It came out. It's 80 grand. He's getting paid, not 180.
Okay, then there must be some mad bonuses because he was offered like 150 bags from West Ham.
It's like 80. It's like 85 grand, something like that. It came out like after the whole 180, 200 grand thing. That's not true. That would be ridiculous. But even so, Forest are on a Madden like Fulham did, and Fulham got relegated. But let's not talk about Forest. I'm saying, why, if they can sign Dennis, who'd be good enough for us, and it was only £12 million, why is Angus Kinnear coming on interviews and going, we've got this shortlist, and when the right player comes about and all this, we'll get a striker we need? No, you don't. Because he's good enough for us. He's 12 million quid. You were prepared to pay 40 million for CDK. So we've got the money. What are we doing? We've got, 2 weeks left of the transfer window. We've got 2 injury-prone strikers. We've got 1 available. Sign a striker now. Please.
Oh, yeah, now, man. You're going to give me a triple bypass over here.
Right. We haven't even got to
by the way, can I just clarify? I do love Rodrigo, but we definitely need a striker. I think
that's what we're all agreeing with. Yeah, we're all agreeing that.
But Rodrigo is still world class.
Yeah, JT, give us your positive, mate.
Oh, well, Rodrigo Moreno. No, the positive for me, I mean, I would say Rodrigo's goals, but I'd say our pressing. Our pressing for me, our energy from the front, the way we were pinning them back at times. Again, we look so sharp. We look so fit in there. I don't know if we're going to get a touch on the negatives or we're going to get onto that after, but we just look like we outran them, especially in that first half. And the fact
70 minutes.
I know, and I don't know why we just can't make that final killer pass, but we are talking about the positives, and it will be just the way we have that dynamic pressing from the front. When Bamford was on there, he would go up. Then you'd have Harrison, like you said, absolute workhorse down there. Aronson is nipping at your heels, left, right, and center. Rocker and Adams, I know it probably wasn't their best game, but Adams still physically, he was everywhere in there. He was winning every loose ball, every scrap. So for me, the best thing I've seen is our intensity and the way we press zonally, and we seem to congest them in and get them right where we want them.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. Thank you. That's 2 for the press there. Ollie, positive.
Yeah, similar to what all the lads have been saying. What I've just thought as well, set pieces, we look a bit better now. I've just seen someone say it in the chat as soon as I was about to say it. last season or a few seasons, I thought if we get a set piece, a corner, we might as well just kick out for a goal kick. We're not going to do anything from it.
Yeah.
But this time, the Harrison and Aronson combination, they go together, arm up here, arm up there. We look deadly in these short corners as well. Also, I'm liking the pressing, and we look like we can score goals now. Obviously, that thing is we still need to defend. Sorry if you can hear my dog, by the way. Yeah, it's just we're looking good. The thing is, everyone, I get why people are getting worried, but also I don't know why either. I get that we need to sign some strikers,
Two
but
games in, man.
yeah, we're 2 games in, and I'm still quite positive. I really am. I don't know why. I don't know if I've seen something that others haven't, but I'm looking at that. Yes, we had a blip 10 minutes against Southampton. We should have won the game. Of course, we should have. But we go to Chelsea. Not saying we're going to win, but I'm saying let's give them a game and let's try and get something out of it.
Oh yeah,
The thing is,
just
with a game like Chelsea as well, with what you're talking about, the set pieces, I know obviously we'll go on to that later, Chelsea preview, but just when we are playing better teams, we give ourselves, if we're going to sit in and try and defend, we give ourselves a chance of winning those games, of nicking those games because of set pieces. We didn't have that in our Arsenal before. We didn't even have that as an option, really. And now we look like we could have 20 minutes sat in our own box and then have a 1-4-A forward and win a corner, and Strauch absolutely nods it in at the back post. Like it's a possibility now that we can get ahead in games where before we'd have to score an open play to get ahead. So I think those set pieces will be massive for us this season.
Do you know what really annoyed me with the set piece though? With the last one when we were 2-2 and we decided to go short and lay it off to Llorente at the edge of the box.
And he twatted it, yeah.
Every corner we had, we caused problems. And then we went, do you know what, Llorente, you have a shot.
Do you know what I think that was? Do you know why I think we did that? We didn't want to be counted. Because if they'd have got the ball from that, mate,
yeah, true.
It's one of them. Do you know, it's one of those things like that. What it was last minute, wasn't it? More or less. If they go up and score, do you know what I mean? Then it's the opposite.
You should have sent Melly.
Then it's the opposite. You're thinking, why have we sent that in the box stupidly, like opening themselves up to a counter attack? So I guess either way, you'd have looked at it.
But then that's just your mentality, then, isn't it? That's whether you want to go on and win the game and risk that, or you want to.
I think we were in a position where we thought,
out, basically,
we've already thrown this away. We don't want to throw it away anymore.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, like at that point, it was a case of just make sure you don't lose, because we shouldn't even be 2-2. But my positive is we're in Europe, baby. Come on, and we're gonna stay there. We ain't going nowhere. Yes, man. And
I like
the
it.
negative is
I think you're skipping Ollie. Ollie hasn't even given his positive yet, and you're jumping to the negative.
I'll get my positive.
Oh yeah, you did. You're right.
Just won't listen. You won't listen.
No. I remember. It's because I'm thinking it's going in clockwise and then down to you. And
Yeah.
No, you gave 3, and your last one, you were like, oh, well, it's basically agreeing with the boys. And then, the last thing you said was about the pressing. And then,
why have I swallowed helium? Was that me?
I don't know why you swallowed it. I'm trying to do your voice. It's kind of hard. Where are you from, out of curiosity?
I am from none of your business. No, I'm from Suffolk.
Suffolk? Okay. So you're a bit more southern. Okay.
Yeah.
A bit more southern, mate. But no negatives.
So
Only
both
positives.
Cockney.
And so what was your positive, Luke?
We're in Europe.
We're in Europe. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And no negatives.
You haven't got a negative?
Easy Europe.
We bottled a 2-0 lead. I mean, it's obvious, but it just should not be happening, especially with 20 minutes to go. But
guys, where do you put that blame?
Marsh's game management.
Yeah.
Like the week before, it's what won us the game against Wolves was the game management, was bringing Click on and calming the midfield down. And then the following week, they bring Armstrong, Aribo, and Mara on. And Armstrong's getting an assist. Aribo's getting a goal. And it's like, there's no reply to going 2-1 down, no subs. We wait till it's 2-2 to make subs. Why? It should have been, there should have been at least 1 or 2 subs when it's 2-1. And then they score twice within 10 minutes. So Marsh talks about, as you told me, Joe, Marsh talks about his last 6 seasons, or he knows our game flows, he knows when to make the subs, he can handle the heat and all this, blah, 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 every situation. But then if the game's going swimmingly and everything's working and then all of a sudden it's not, because they've changed their system and you can see the goal, Where's our reply to that? Right then, there should have been 2 or 3 subs. You shouldn't be waiting until the 84th minute when it's 2-2 to make 3 substitutions. It was just silly, really. We should have seen that out 2 or 3-1.
It was as soon as the game started to turn, wasn't it? As soon as Southampton brought their subs on, we didn't need to make subs in direct response to them just because they brought them on. We didn't need to panic and bring subs on.
Things were still working.
Yeah, but as soon as you start to see that game slipping away from you, and you start to think, hold on, they've changed system here, and we seem to be getting pinned back a lot more. They're having a lot more chances. Eventually, they're going to score here if we don't do anything. That's when you make the subs. I don't understand. Bringing Click on in the 88th minute, what's that going to do?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he nearly got an assist, but the fact that that man changed the game against Wolves when he was brought on, surely you think, well, it's worth a chance changing the flow of the game by bringing Click on again. And when he did come on in the 88th minute, he nearly got an assist.
The thing is, bringing Click on 4 minutes after it's 2-2 only tells us that Marsh's mentality at that point is we're going to go 3-2 down here. Because they were peppering us after that, man. If anyone were going to score, it were them. So him bringing a midfielder on 4 minutes after is. Did
he not bring him on with Sinistera though?
No, Click came on last, didn't he?
I thought it did.
Cine and.
Did we make like 2 or 3?
We made 3 subs, and I think I think Click came on his own later on. I might be wrong saying that. But I swear down he came on his own. I swear we made 2 subs together.
This is going to be quite an unpopular opinion. I know everyone's going to disagree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Footballers should be able to play in heat. I'm not having all this shattered. Half of them are bloody from Spain and all this. Play in the heat. I've been playing in the heat since I was 7. You know, I don't get knackered. You know what I mean? I don't get knackered. I'm not having that Harrison's legs were tired. Yeah, he had a good game.
Really? You're not having it?
He fell asleep. Weak concentration. That's what it was.
It's training conditions though as well, man. Like,
true. I'm being a bit. I'm taking the
training in that heat all year round.
No, true. But also, I'm thinking professionals. Get on with it. I saw a bit of Jack Harrison, saw a bit of Lawrence DeBock there, I think. Switching off. But the thing is,
I know you're half joking and like half being serious, but it's a mentality and a physical thing. Like Harrison's mentality on the 75th minute could be, we're gonna win this, I don't care. I'm gonna keep running and blah blah blah. But his body ain't allowing him to do it, man, because there's certain things sometimes. It's like, I don't know, JT will know because he's ripped. You go to gym, you think you can bench 6 reps to 70, right? At 70 kg or 80 kg, 100 kg, whatever you're benching. And your mind says you can do it, but your arms get to a point where it ain't happening. So, like, they ain't training in that heat.
I think that's a weak mentality way of doing it. I don't think there is ever a point. I think you train through it. I think your brain is the hardest thing. If your brain says you can do it, you're damn right you can do it. Yes, there is a point. I don't think that's our point. Jack Harrison's one of the fittest guys in the team. That wasn't physical fatigue, that was mental fatigue. That was switching off at a key moment.
From the heat, though, as well.
You can't use that. You're a goddamn professional. You can't say because of the heat. They've been training in the. I'm sorry, but I tell you what, it stems off a lack of leadership at the back, a lack of leadership from the central defenders, from someone to kick someone in the arse and wake them up. The gaps at the back, it's ridiculous. I mean, you look at their first goal. The guy Armstrong runs through 3 players and no one takes him out.
This is what I want about before. Rasmus
has had a clanger.
Doesn't put a foot in for the ball. Really annoyed me that.
Who was it who knocked that ball?
And the centre half, man. And Koch comes flying forward out of nowhere.
Who was it who beat Christensen to the ball and knocked it round to Armstrong?
Who flicked it? No. So Armstrong took on like 3 players.
No, he ran down line, didn't he? But who was it who beat?
No, but it was Koch. It was Koch he beat to the ball.
No, I know. No. So as the ball's coming, Christensen there, and then someone nicks in and manages to put the ball down the line for Armstrong. Do you know who it was?
Ariba. Oh, Che Adams. Yeah. Che Adams. Wow, one little flick that he got over Koch. First of all, Koch shouldn't be overextending.
Well, it was Christensen.
All right.
And you know the second goal?
That was Koch.
By the way, that's
no, it was Christensen. You know the second goal? When the ball came over and someone brought it out of the air and beat his man and then gave it to Sekou Mara. Do you know what that was?
He didn't do anything. That was all Sekou Mara, and that was Tyler Adams falling asleep.
No. When the ball came over, yeah,
time.
and he held his man off, yeah, and then passed it into Sekou Mara. Who was that?
It may have been Che Adams.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
but that doesn't mean anything.
That was
You know what? Maybe he did, but that's because we didn't have a proper leader there. If we had a proper leader at the back, he would have 2-footed him. He wouldn't have let him do that. He wouldn't let him muck us around like that. I told you from day one we needed a centre half. You know what, man? Our defence is not good enough. You can blame Jesse Marsh all you want.
That was
for
Rasmus
making changes when he should have made changes.
Rasmus,
but at the end, but it all stems. You need someone that can command and lead the entire back four. They looked out of position. They looked clueless at times.
But there's also
Rasmus is not the leader. Rasmus is not the leader.
There's also individual mistakes.
Defender should be.
Boys, one at a time.
We talked about last week how in the Wolves game, Christensen was too overactive and he flew at Pedro Neto, and because Pedro Neto's got Premier League experience, he span him and they were able to score from it. This week, he went too far the other way, and when Che Adams was trying to bring that ball down, instead of just climbing up and heading the ball away, Rasmus stayed back a little bit and he allowed Che Adams to just bring the ball down. If he'd have jumped and used his shoulders to climb higher and head that away, just bang it into touch, anything, it would have been fine and they wouldn't have scored. But instead, he allowed Che Adams to bring the ball down, pass it to Sekou Mara, who obviously played a worldy pass to Walker Peters. I also think Meslier potentially could have done better with that Walker Peters goal.
No, never.
It went directly through him.
Doesn't matter, man. From that close, the finish, the power,
it should never have got to him. It should never have got to him.
Well,
anyway.
did you hear what Marsh said about it, actually? Sorry to cut you off, Lewis. But Marsh said he was saying that pass, whilst it was a good pass, is a pass that should have never happened, and that it was actually an individual mistake from Jack Harrison. And
but when you're playing Jack Harrison, at left back, he's not.
He wasn't playing left back.
He was
just he had to come back.
They moved him back.
Oh, well, left wing back, exactly. But that's what I mean. But
this is the thing. I would go back to Jesse, though, JT, and say, well, he shouldn't have been in that position because he was done.
Exactly. Well, he was done, and he's not a wing back. Right?
Okay, but who else are we going to put at wing back?
Move Stroke there.
Stroike's not a wing back. Stroike's even worse at wing back.
I would have moved Strouk into centre back and then maybe put Hjelde on.
I think what it shows is we need a left back. I think this is what it shows. We need a left back.
What it shows is if we had Senior Firpo, we'd have won that game.
But Max, what you were just saying then about he allows Adams to bring the ball down and doesn't, run up and get in the air, does the opposite of what he did against Wolves, charging in. He did charge in for their first goal. If you watch it, he stood there in prime position, watching the run, watching the man who's got the ball. And he makes a decision of, rather than watching the run, just thinks, I want the ball. He loses his head, man. He charges in for that ball, and they play a little 1-2 round him, and all of a sudden we have no right back. And then they've got all that space to play that ball across into the box, which there should have been someone to stop that as well, because it was a poor ball. Everyone's just stood there. And then he gets all the way back to the line, fair play, and it still goes in. He anticipates where it's going to go to block it off the line, and he still doesn't get there. The whole thing was a disaster, and he cannot be doing this charging at a player, getting 1-2'd or just done over.
You're talking about the one where it got flicked around him for the first goal?
Yes.
Because that was Robin Koch. I just watched it back.
Was it?
Yes, it was. It was Robin Koch. Watch it. I literally just watched it back now. Rasmus Christensen was part of the three players. He was the one that charged in. The one that went in to close down Che Adams and actually got flicked around him was Robin Koch. That's why the only two defenders we had left was Struijk and Llorente, because Koch charged forward and then Llorente from fullback had to come in and cover at centre half next to Llorente, and then there was no one back to cover Aribo, who was just chilling in the back post.
Right, Rasmus, I'm sorry, good night.
But Rasmus did charge forward and leave himself exposed.
I'm sorry, I swear, at the time, I just remember I thought it was Rasmus. But...
We've done our positives, so we'll go on to our negatives, and mine is Rasmus. But before we do that, Smudges says, as long as our Jesse owns it and learns from it, we'll all be good. And that's right, yeah, I agree with that. As long as he owns it You know, and he did. I just think it'd have been a whole lot better had he have not come out with that spiel during the week about how he knows how to deal with heat and that. But there you go. But yeah, my negative is Rasmus. He's been the worst of the signings. I'm not writing him off by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we all had an opinion that he would be the man. We all couldn't wait to see him.
We all said he's the only signing we can that we think won't have any problem adapting. We all said it, and he's the only one that has.
Actually, me and Lewis were on a bit of a different wavelength.
Yeah, we said it'd go either way, but we're a sucker for that hard man Leeds mentality, aren't we? Like, we bought Pontus before he'd even kicked a ball. It was the same thing, right? Like, we just buy into that. Like, if you've got that in you, you'll click with the fans because that's what Leeds is about. But then over time, if you're showing that you ain't good enough, then there'll be calls for Ayling coming back in. And Rasmus ain't good enough.
What about Goldie Drama?
Just sticking with that though, like, and people say straight away, or give Ramos. I'm not saying he shouldn't have a chance. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not, like, when you make a comment, it doesn't mean you're like saying, right, that's me done. I just think out of the signings, he's been the poorest, and he has been at fault several times. Just look at that second goal. He's so poor. Why he's not challenged Shea Adams? Why he's just let him have the ball and lay it into Sekumara? I don't know. Maybe it's nerves. I think Jesse said after the game against Wolves, the players realised just how difficult it is in the Premier League. And like my worry is with him, he's not even come up against the best ballers. And the best ballers in the Premier League are on the wings. And
Sterling will be interesting if he's...
Sterling will tear him a new one, man.
This is what I'm talking about. So, for me, and I know it might sound bold, and I said it earlier on, if Ayling was fit, I would play him. That's
and this is coming from a guy that hates Ayling, so you know.
I'm annoyed.
I don't think I'll start Ayling.
I think we need to start Rasmus just to see how he does. Fair.
Mate, it's that first ball with him. It's that he's a confidence player, man. He messed up. The reason why you said he didn't fully commit enough is because he lost his confidence early on. He messed it up, and it wasn't just off the ball. On the ball, he was specifically atrocious. Every single pass, he was overthinking it, and then he was messing it up. He wasn't in flow state. You know, when you're in flow state and everything's natural, you're not thinking about it. Bang, one touch, go, go, go. Yeah. Every time he slowed it down, he would mess it up, and he got into his own head. And I mean,
that's something Ayling is good at on the ball.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think we've looked at. I don't know about you guys, but I've looked at Ayling, especially last season. He looked so off it. I think he looked.
We do.
He won us games.
We do tend to look back at players, especially players who are injured or who have left with rose-tinted glasses. Yeah. So exactly when we were talking about Alioski coming back, we were all complaining about Alioski until he left, and then Firpo comes in, and everyone's like, Alioski, man, we should have kept him. Yeah. But it's easy to do because you do tend to remember all the good moments that a player has had for your club. Yeah. So when you look at Ayling, you remember him scoring that goal against Hull and doing the chicken dance and scoring against Man United and get his hair out and doing the guitar. You just think, oh, he'd be amazing if he was back. Yeah. But last season, a lot of people weren't sure about him anymore. A lot of people were saying, I think this is his final season. I don't think he's good enough anymore. So I think we are forgetting that quite quickly. He is good, and I still like him. I think he's a valuable player to have at the club because he's a leader. He can be good when he comes on. I just don't think he's... I just don't think he's the solution at right back. I think he is on his way out. I just think we need to give Rasmus more time.
Without him, we wouldn't have stayed up though. He won us some vital games. Look at that Wolves game where he single-handedly won us that Wolves game.
But that is
and it's not just his last-minute winner. It was all the other stuff that he created in the game. He created the Dan James.
Also, maybe if he was
talking about right backs and goals, Rasmus should have scored.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He definitely should have scored.
That's what I mean. And that was the confidence again once he misses that. And it's
that one confidence, man. You don't need confidence.
No, I'm saying after that, it completely knocked his confidence after he missed it.
All right, fair enough.
I just don't think Ayling's the answer, if I'm being completely honest. I think the way you're saying about he won us games last year, Yeah, he scored the goal against Wolves. I understand that. It was a good goal.
And he did not just the goal, but everything else he created in the game. He created both the other chances.
You're talking about one game.
Harrison goal where he struck. Yeah,
You're
but
talking
if it
about
wasn't for
one
that
game,
game, but there was loads of other games.
But then I could sit there and say that we wouldn't be in that situation if Aylan was starting. Do you know what I mean? The reason why we were down there because Aylan was starting. Do you know what I mean?
The biggest thing for me about the players that we have is, and the biggest difference between us, our players, and the top players at the top teams like Man City and Liverpool is consistency. And our players on their day are capable of producing as good as Mo Salah or, do you know what I mean? Those top players.
Look at Harrison
top players.
Liverpool the first game.
Yeah, they're capable of producing individual performances that are as good as some of the best players in the world.
Mo Salah's a bit.
What are players? Salah's a bit.
Mo Salah's a bit. Yeah, Mo Salah's
on their day.
Maybe it's more.
Maybe senior purple.
Mo Salah.
It's more like
on their day, you know. Is it Rodrigo? Is it Messi?
When Jack Harrison scored that hat-trick against West Ham.
Yeah.
When Jack Harrison scored that hat-trick against West Ham, that's as much of a complete, perfect performance as you can ask for.
Yeah, but it's not Mo Salah.
But it wasn't Mo. It's
Mo
Salah versus Chelsea.
What I'm talking about is that Mo Salah will do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's going to be the same type of player, play anything like him, or be as good as him. What I'm talking about is the fact that Mo Salah will score 3 hat-tricks in a season, or he'll score 2 goals every game. Jack Harrison will have one game like that, and he's capable of playing amazing, but then he's not consistent for the rest of the season, and that's the difference between our players and the elite players is consistency. So someone like Ayling, he had those games against Wolves, and he had those other games where he played really well, but he also had games where he was awful, and he had an absolute stinker, and people were calling for him to be taken off. Obviously, maybe Mo Salah was a bit of a stretch, right? But you get my point.
Yeah, but
these top players are so consistently good. Yeah. That's the difference. We have players who are capable of amazing things because they're professional footballers.
It's like if Salah would have done what Harrison did against Liverpool on that opening day, for example, it'd be so much more of a bigger thing. That's why
He did. He scored a hat-trick against us. They
No,
won 3-2.
The way in which Harrison scored that goal, taking it.
Yeah, look, that was one good one. But if you compare that to Salah's best goals, if you compare that to him against Manchester City,
take Salah out then.
Okay, but then Ayling, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden. I see what you mean about that. They're more consistent.
Nip it in bud, right? Because this comment here from Cloud Dizzle. Right,
the bizzle.
2 games so far undefeated, just saying yes. But if we were to come on the midweek fix every week, something had gone right, and sit here and go, yeah, we won, or we got a point away, thanks for watching, goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be a boring show. We have to sit here and look at all the positives and negatives, and also the fact that exactly what Max has just been saying.
You're getting good at this hosting gig, Lewis.
Harrison can have the game of his life, right? But Salah, players like the elites, the teams who finish top 4 will do that week in, week out. We are so far from that to the point where we do need to sit here and go, right, Rasmus is going to be a problem. It might not be, but if we want to get to that place where we're finishing 8th, 7th, 6th, we're getting up there every season, just getting better, we need the players who can have consistent performances week in, week out. So we're obviously going to sit here week in, week out, watching the games, thinking... He's solidified. He's got his position. He does a job week in, week out, like Rocker and Adams. But then there's other players that you've got to look at and think, he ain't going to last the season, man. We're going to need to do something about that to get where we want to be. That's just
like a Brendan Aronson.
And it's not being overly negative either.
Exactly. No, it's not.
It's being realistic and being constructive with your criticism, because we won against Wolves, but there were still negatives to take. There's always things to improve on. No matter how much you win a game, there's always things to improve on.
Finish article.
And last season did hurt us, yes, because we don't want to be there again. And yes, you can say that we're unbeaten. 3 games ago, we were 17th in a relegation battle, technically. 3 games ago.
Yeah.
And now we're 6th.
And I believe someone said we were going to get relegated. Who is it?
It looked dead on, man.
My
confidence was like within 3 games. I was gone from saying after the Villa game, I was like, that's the only time I could see us going down. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh shit, like we're in trouble. Like we're down because when you're conceding against, I know we won, but when you're conceding against Norwich at 90th minute, when you can't beat Brighton, it's like.
Yeah, but when you win against Norwich in the 94th
I
minute.
know, but then we showed that character to fight back the same way we showed that first game of the season fighting back against Wolves. And then obviously you have games like this where you're 2-0 up and you lose your head and you bottle it. So we do have to sit here and pick at all the positives and the negatives because we ain't going to get any better without
It's a 1 hour show.
Without identity, exactly. And Johnny's already. We need.
And we all agree too much, so it'd be too quick if we didn't bring up a lot of talking points.
Yeah,
so.
of course.
True. So that was my negative.
Oh God.
Yeah. Right, Max. Negative.
To be honest, I do think we're all going to have a very similar negative in the fact that it was just what Mash just didn't bring on those substitutes at the right time, and we have already discussed that, so I won't go into too much detail. But like I say, it's just game management. It's knowing that the tide is changing in that game, being able to see the fact that we're starting to become under the cosh here. I need to make some substitutes and freshen things up. So I think it's just, I hope it's been a learning experience for him, and that obviously when we were in the Wolves game, it was a different position when we brought those. We brought those to try and win the game. When we were 2-0 up, he should have brought on substitutes to try and protect the lead, and it was a different situation. So hopefully he's learned that doing nothing is worse than at least trying to do something when you're in the lead. So I just hope that he's learned from that, and that's my negative, really, just the fact that he needs to bring on substitutes when the game looks like it's about to change.
For sure. I think we all agree on that one.
He played decently, to be fair.
JT, have you got a negative for us?
How many? How long have we got? You got to remember it's been raining. You know the weather.
Right.
It's
raining for both teams.
No,
it's like when Klopp said her first week. I'm just really random, but when he was saying the Fulham's pitch is dry.
Oh,
It's dry for it's dry for both teams, man. Like
dislike that, man.
Because you're not saying it's hot for both teams, Roll. Well,
Exactly.
look, man, a lack of leadership defensively, and defenders simply not good enough. That's the negative for me. That's come away from it. Lack of
Defenders
composure
simply
and
not good
ability.
enough.
Defenders simply not good enough. Not enough
Who?
coordination.
Name
there.
and shame.
Name and shame. I'll name and shame. It's not that there's a specific one. If there was one, I'd potentially say that was a little bit weaker, maybe Llorente game positioning. But we need strike in those defensive two for me. And we also need someone who is actually of a high enough caliber, has enough experience to see off a game and help organize that back four, because we look unorganized at times. Sometimes.
So Cooper?
No,
Yeah, we're not playing a proper back.
Someone young, someone good enough, someone.
Do you want to sign-
Do you not need a leader?
We didn't sign him. We needed.
I think you need a leader like
signed
Cooper
him.
to play in that left-hand side position of the.
No,
of the
but
centre
yeah, but
half,
that's what I mean. I
especially
mean a
because
top
he's
leader.
left-footed.
Yeah, but a top caliber leader,
But
a
look
leader
at the
who can play
difference-
every
look at
game
the
of the
difference.
season.
Look at the difference he made when he came in towards the end of the season in Jesse Marsh's reign. He's not the best footballer that we've got, but the way he actually controlled the defense and commanded it, and his actual aerial ability can't be underestimated as well. From set pieces, he protects us so much in that when
Like
people
Juris.
whip the ball in on corners, free kicks, he's always there to head the ball away. It goes unnoticed a little bit, but he's a leader in his actual defending, the way he heads the ball clear, the distance he gets on that, and his actual leadership as well, the way he commands the defense. So even he's not the best footballer out of our defenders, I think he's the best leader. And
I'm not
being
disagreeing with you
left-footed-
on that.
Cooper
Being left-footed, I think
But,
Llorente,
it's-
that's why he's looked bad.
Cooper
Is he
and,
going to be able to play every game
on
of the
his wrong
season?
side.
Is he going to be able to play every game of the season?
Well, we don't know. Like,
Well, no, he's not.
injuries
He's simply
happen.
not. He's simply not going to play every game of the season. That's my point. Is
But
we
you could
need,
say
yeah,
that for
Cooper's a
any-
great
you could
leader,
say that
but we
for
need
anyone.
someone who can play every game of the
You
season.
can say that for anyone, man. I mean, there's a
No,
point
because
where we
Cooper's
thought-
old. That's why. I'm not saying.
Yeah,
Cooper's
say
already
that.
missed 2 games already, isn't he?
Yeah, but if Pascal is playing at a left centre-back role, who's your leader in the defence? You need one.
That's
I
why
don't
I'm
know.
saying. That's why I
I
said
don't-
we need to sign a leader. We need
We've
to
got no
sign
leaders
a-
in the team. I don't
Who
think
do
we've
you
got a leader.
What I
sign?
mean-
Who do you sign a leader? We've
Well,
got
unfortunately, they've left it.
Yeah, no, I think in the
anymore.
team we've got
We
now,
don't
the
need a
team.
centre-back, man.
The team
We
will
do.
put out against Chelsea. I don't think there's a leader, and I think I know Bamford won't play against Chelsea. Well, he might do. I don't know, but it's looking likely that he won't. Bamford for me, again, I don't know how you can have unless it's like someone caliber of Ronaldo or something. You can't have your striker as your captain. He's not watching the game, and yeah, he might be the voice.
Harry Kane?
But yeah, well, yeah, you can understand.
Harry Kane's not the captain. It's Hugo Lloris, I think.
No, he was the England captain.
Oh, England, right?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, but he was because he set an example behind scenes and stuff. We do. You're right. I'm agreeing with you. We need someone.
Amazing team talks. Exactly.
We can. Who could just? I don't know. And someone's just put it in the chat. Not right now, but I'm liking the look of Tyler Adams as a leader.
I was just about.
Is that not why you need? Is that not why you need Luke Ayling though? Because Luke Ayling is that leader.
You need Tyler Adams to come in and go, you don't know where I'm from, dog.
The thing is, we're getting this in.
Ayling, there's so much.
Ayling is the leader. He's actually a vice captain.
Yeah, he's the leader, but also he's not good enough.
That's not true.
That is true. That is true. I think we looked at it last season. I like Ayling. I do. I think he'll be good in the cup game.
He's trying to cover it up.
No, if we want to move forward, Ayling's not the man.
Why have we bought a right back?
Yeah.
Oh, look, maybe, yeah, for the long-term plan, it's not bad. This current moment in time, he's good enough not to start. I wouldn't start him every game because I do still want to see what Rasmus can do. And actually, I have really high hopes for Cody Drama. I really want to see him.
Yeah, you keep saying.
I'm not convinced.
So I don't like the way you said that.
I'm not convinced.
I don't like that.
You know what it is? Like,
Yeah, you keep bloody.
we're just not convinced. And that debate is still between Ayling and, if it even is a debate, Ayling and Rasmus. But it has just annoyed me thinking about the fact that we have signed a right back before a left back. Because I don't care what anyone says, Ayling was still better than Firpo last season. Oh, come on, man.
And did you just splutter out? That is
Yeah.
that's not even up for debate.
Which means it's not even up for debate. Did you see him at the end of the season? He was
Give
on
over, JT.
boom,
That's not even
brother.
up for
Because what you're
debate.
saying is that Luke Ayling wasn't good enough, and he was terrible last season. So therefore,
No,
you're
no one
inferring.
said that.
I
No
can
one said
infer. What?
So that means you
Literally,
think-
Ollie
we're
literally
inferring
just
that
said he's not good
Firpo
enough,
wasn't even
and Max
good
has said he's been
To be
terrible.
labelled terrible.
Firpo was not terrible.
No, it wasn't good enough to be even labelled terrible.
Man.
You
No,
see,
no.
what-
Firpo
Did
was
you see
terrible.
him at the end of the season? What do you mean
No.
Firpo was
No,
terrible?
I didn't. The only people that saw him were
He was
wingers.
injured. Okay, whoop-de-doo. He got injured. Yeah, that cost him a lot of time. But when he was fit, especially, you know what? He started off the season. He had a few clangers. You look at the Man United game. Yeah, he was pretty poor that game. But at the end of the season, once he started to get some footing going, once he started to get his energy going,
But the thing is, we're
They're not
treating him
even-
like a
you can't
kid.
even compare them to.
I think we're treating Firpo like a
can.
kid, where we go, "Oh, he's had a good game today. He should be doing that every
it's not
week."
true. Did you see him in the past fight again before he got injured again? He was on form. Did you
Why is
see
he-
him against Blackpool? Look how much
Blackpool.
we lack down there.
Blackpool.
He said
Look how much we lack without him in that side.
He had a.
You see him against Blackpool.
Did
I
you
like-
see him?
I do like Firpo, but
Oh, no, you don't.
I love this.
Yeah,
No, I
Blackpool.
You see him against
Hot
Blackpool.
conditions.
my
Look, ever since that game, that was the only game I saw us actually creating a lot down that left-hand side. Okay? We lack his attacking impetus so much. We look impotent down the left-hand side without his attacking impetus.
He said Blackpool.
Just because you use big words doesn't mean the argument's any stronger. For saying
It does. It's about as strong as his quads, which are pretty damn strong if you look at them. And the way he gets that ball in there in the box, we don't have that with Struijk at left back. We don't have that with Hjeld at left back. Yeah, he's Hjeld class, but he's not that good
Which
going
is
forward.
why we're
That's why
saying
we
we
need to
need
sign
a left back.
We
We're not
have
saying-
Firpo.
exactly, that's why we need a left back.
He's so injury prone.
Who
That's
told me
why
to
we
F
need a
off?
left back. We have a left back.
JT, even if Firpo
Sorry,
is
bro.
even if Firpo plays his best every game, he's gonna get injured. He's an injury-prone player. So even if he is going to be first choice left back, you need somebody who can come in there because he's always going to be injured.
They're a top caliber opposition, but I do concede that what you're saying is correct, Max. Unfortunately, he probably will get injured, which is sad, and we do need
Somebody
another
to
left
push him
back.
for his
But
place.
we do need to sign another left back for a backup. But if we had Firpo in that team, we'd be playing so much better right
No,
now.
the thing is,
This
I
is
don't
what I'm
like
saying. Look, for me, like
Rush
when
your-
your argument is Did you see him against Blackpool?
Did you see him against Blackpool? He played for
He had a very good
45
game.
minutes and he was elite.
He had a very good game.
You know what the thing is, right?
No, he didn't have a very good game. He had a Mohamed Salah-esque game.
He got beat
What was
about
it?
four
He was like
times.
Mohamed Salah.
He got beat about 4 times by some
No, he didn't get beat 4 times. He didn't even have 4 shots that first half, man. Oh,
If-
come on,
if-
man.
If Firpo, right, started against Palace and we didn't concede, but everything had gone down the left-hand side, you'd come on here the week after and go, clean sheet, who started? Senior Firpo.
Yeah, but in that game, you're missing the fact that he would have scored the winner in that game.
Last season and we'd have won 5-0. You'd have come on here and he'd go, we won 5-0 because who started? Tyler, it's had nothing to do.
That's not true, because Senior Firpo, I'm talking about his attacking. He would have done something in the attacking end of the field that we don't have from any of our fullbacks right now. Rasmus Christensen looks like he has 2 left feet at times going forward.
We need a left back who can defend.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, we do need a left back who can defend, but the way we're playing, we demand a lot of attacking from our fullbacks.
Agreed, but I don't
we
think
demand defending as well.
Yeah, the thing is, I've never knocked Firpo on how well he can cross the ball or how well attacking wise he's decent at that. All right, decent. I say decent, but defending. I mean, the thing is, I'm not even pointing out Firpo. I think half our defense. I agree with JT. I don't think it's.
It is a worry. It's the worry.
I don't.
If there's any worry, it's that.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing because that is moving on to my negative. The defense is just that. It does still worry me at times that it just doesn't. It looks disorganized. It does need someone to grab it and say, "What are we like? Why are people coming out so far?" Was that?
I think it's the system.
What do we just need Che Adams back there? Is that just the solution to everything? Just slap him at the back.
I don't know if it's the system at all because how many goals we leaked under Bielsa as well, and that was
the system.
Yeah, but that was the system as well. Like,
if a manager came in tomorrow and went right, we're going to go with a back 5 and we're going to play with a low block, like this defense would be decent. It's the system.
Yeah, but if they lack concentration.
No, bro. They were playing in fucking 30 degrees heat on the south coast.
Oh, 30 degrees, criminal, man. They were training in Australia, man.
Stuff, bro, they're not used to this.
Yeah, but at the same time,
the other team had heat.
Yeah,
Southampton,
nor Southampton.
Yeah, but they made 3 changes and they all came from the.
Oh, did they change all their defenders?
That's the point I'm making.
No, that's true.
They did change their defense, the way that the defense is playing. They took a centre back off and went to a back 4.
If you watch their first goal, right, you see Koch dive in there. Like, watch it, you'll see Koch. Because I've watched it so many times and I knew it was Koch, right? So Koch dives in there. There's a quick 1-2 around him, right? And then there's a load of space, right? For this ball to come across into the box. And jokes aside, right, when this ball comes across into the box, I just did a Frank Lampard. My face just went from massive grin to, what is it? So, like, if you watch it, there's, 3-4 defenders. No line. That ball come across that box so slow to be picked up for the shot. I don't understand. Like, you talk about organisation. Did not one of them anticipate that? But I mean, maybe none of them anticipated Koch diving in and getting done for the space to be even there for the cross. But there were no line. There was no organisation. There was no one anticipating that ball to come across. No one to mark who come in to get the ball. What was it? Aribo. We can't
because like I said, because when you let 3 players get sucked in down the right hand side, no one takes them on.
That's the zonal marking. So again,
that was Rasmus diving in like a headless chicken, not going anywhere near it.
The second goal.
For the first goal. The second goal was just them sitting back and Tyler Adams getting spun like a jacket potato, spun like a Beyblade. Spun like a Beyblade and skinned like a jacket potato.
Let's move on to the next negative. Who are we up to?
I think it was me, wasn't it? Oh no, I kind of said my negative.
Well, we're up to Robin.
Mine's the same thing. It's just the game management.
Yeah.
Right. Same with you, Ollie?
Yeah. Just similar to pretty much what everyone has said.
This game management overall season so far is defense.
Shut up,
2 games in a row we've seen defensive errors.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's write Southampton off as a bad job. Yeah, we've done it. Right, we've done it.
I want to say bad job.
No, I meant just now on this podcast. Bad job. It's done.
Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. Can I ask you how confident you are of the club getting a striker?
None. It's not happening. I tell you, it's not happening because going back to when you've got players like Dennis going to Forest for £12 million, and we're apparently put all our eggs in one basket, £40 million apparently that we've got to spend on a striker. Nice one, brilliant. If we don't get CDK, we'll have these others. No, no. It's a load of BS, man. Like, the shortlist doesn't exist because there'd be news coming out every day of Leeds have bidded for this striker, Leeds have bidded for this striker, Leeds have bidded for... And it ain't happening, man, because they aren't doing it.
My content's dried up. I'm fuming.
Yeah.
Hey, Connor.
It's like Connor, a desert out there. Yeah, he's just making them up at this point.
Connor's got the rumour mill there. Like.
Yeah, he's making them up at this point. I see him on this morning. I was like, oh, what's that?
I love it, man. It's brilliant. Like
I saw Ivan Toney wearing a white t-shirt
think
out.
of a video out in there. I wish. Like, the guy grinding to a fair play.
We will sign a striker.
The real rumour mill is dead.
No, that's not true.
Right. It is true.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
Why? Okay, why?
It's not true. You're talking to a guy who not only has the sources.
No,
I'm not even just talking about Victor Orta, all right? And trust me, I am seeing news popping off left, right, and centre. I don't know if you're not looking at the right sources, but Leeds are going to get a striker. And if you want to find out who, do you want to know who we're signing? All right? Do you want to know who we're signing? Do you not know who we're signing?
Go on then. Not Dries Mertens.
Well, tune in tomorrow on South Stand Signings and you're going to find out, baby. We got all the news.
I think a good thing to remember is that we signed Rafinha very late in the window because we didn't know the opportunity was there, but a call was made and the opportunity presented itself and we said, that's a bargain, we're going to buy it. So I do think there's that option right towards the end. Is it a bit of a...
Just sign Rafinha back.
But in the meantime, like, I'm not saying that... Okay, I'll take that back. I'm not saying 100% we won't get a striker. I'm saying 100% we're not looking for a striker. We can't be. There's no solid links. There's no bids. There's nothing coming out that's saying we've bidded for this player. CDK was every single...
Yeah, but no one knew about Louis.
We're in advanced talks with Ismail Assar.
But how many? We're not. No, we're not.
No, we don't. I thought you said Fabrizio Romano knows everything, Joe. And that's what he's come out saying.
And he said
he hasn't.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's come out and said it's not happening, bro.
No.
Yes.
No. The weather.
Sar going Christmas.
The weather.
Wait there, bro. You keep talking.
I think Sar's going Palace. Yeah, he's going Palace.
That's because flipping thingy. Yeah.
I tweeted about Sar and I said I don't think it made sense. Blah 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 because he ain't gonna go somewhere he don't want to start. The only place he's gonna start is behind Bamford, and he ain't a striker, right? He ain't gonna play on the right because he'd be second, third choice. So I said it didn't make sense. I also said it might come out tomorrow that it's bullshit because Mata was bullshit, and all these other players were getting linked with every single day. And then the next day, lo and behold, Fabrizio Romano tweeted, despite reports, there's no actual talks between Sar and Leeds. The day later. And since then, there's been nothing. Radio silence.
But I think you're saying about
no striker, no.
You're saying about the striker, like things that we're not being linked with anyone. I don't know about you guys, but the Luis Sinisterra news came out of absolutely nowhere, I thought.
That's why
it did. No, it didn't. You're right, Ollie. It did.
The Gakpo one, though.
No, we were talking about Gakpo for absolute weeks, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Sinisterra's on the bloody plane.
We're not talking about anyone at the minute, though. That's the point.
No, but we weren't talking about Sinisterra.
No, but we were talking about Gakpo. We were talking about CDK.
But
that doesn't mean anything, though.
They were active. They're not active now.
But usually links aren't in the papers and stuff until, like, you're saying, Lewis, that they don't have a shortlist, which I think they definitely do have a list of players around Europe that they're looking at. But I think the news comes out when someone makes a bid or someone makes contact with the club. I think they plan on looking at somebody, but they haven't made an official bid, so it doesn't get in the news. I think they are looking at people.
Yeah,
John,
I
before
agree
you
that-
get all smug, I never said they made a bid. Okay,
You said
possible
Fabrizio
term.
Romano
I
said
said
we're in
advanced term. We're in
Yeah, and you
advanced.
said
talk.
Fabrizio Romano said that, and he never.
Yeah.
Because
The
I've
thing is-
already got, bro. I've already got.
Oh,
in
sorry,
my-
I was thinking of a reputable journalist.
In my in my downloads, I've already got the thumbnail Ishmael Asata Leeds ? And I've not had to use it, bro. So believe me, I would have. Yeah?
Oh,
I'm sat
poor
on
thumbnail
that.
guy.
I'm sat on that. Yeah.
Thing is, I think Max maybe touched on it. It was about like we have to everything that we've done this transfer window will be ruined if we don't buy a striker. We've been out like we've needed one for the last 2 years, and the fact that I understand that maybe not right now, but we would be so just stupid as a club not to bring one in. I just don't think the board will take that risk again. I really don't. But
I really hope not. So I'll take that back. I'm not saying we 100% won't sign a striker.
no, yeah.
What I will say is right now,
Yeah.
we 100% don't look like signing one. There may be one that comes out of nowhere, but it is annoying. And I keep using him as an example, but when you're seeing Dennis for £12 million going to a recently promoted club, when we are in a much better position with apparently much more money to spend, because 40 million CDK or 30 million, whatever it was, and we aren't intercepting it or going in for him or even opening talks with similar caliber players. And by the way, JT, you said advanced negotiations. Romano tweeted before that, many clubs are following Ismail Assar situation, potential final signing. There's no proposal from Leeds and there's no negotiations ongoing.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's. It's bloody foot Mercato. All right, I concede. I was thinking of the wrong. I was thinking of the wrong journalist. I concede. I was thinking of the wrong.
I think
journalist. It
JT's
wasn't- it
actually
was
just
me.
pre-recorded his transfer video, and he's now.
No, it was actually
worried.
the one uploaded this morning. Thank you very much.
Just
So
for Ian
it
as
was,
well, he's
yes,
mentioned
last week.
Joffrey a lot of times. Joffrey's injured, bro. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah,
Joffrey's
and-
injured.
Bro,
I think that's
and we
something,
need
yeah,
2 backup.
he's consistently got little niggly injuries, little tiny injuries that are just week on, week out. He might not be available for a week. He might not be available for 2 weeks, but he isn't consistently available enough to have as a starting striker. The other thing is, Ollie mentioned it about the fact that we've needed a striker for a couple of seasons. Last season, if we had a 10-goal a season striker, we wouldn't have been in the position that we're in. Simple as that. We would not have finished 17th because those games where we had Dan James up front and Bamford was injured for all of the season, if we'd have had a proper striker in the middle of the box at all times, we would have scored more goals. We would have won more games. We would have got more draws. We would have done better. So last season, we should have addressed this striker issue in the transfer window. And we shouldn't have bought Dan James because we didn't need him. I'm happy with him now because he's a Leeds player and I want the best for him. But aside from that, we shouldn't have bought him. We should have spent that £25 million on a striker, which to me is madness that we didn't go straight into this transfer window and look to buy a striker as one of our first signings.
Priorities,
alongside the
Dan
holding
James will go,
midfielders.
You think Dan James will go, speaking of him?
No,
If
I
we
don't
need
think he will.
money,
I think
if we
I'm
need
sorry
money,
to
he's
say
the one to sell.
No, but
There's
I'm
no
sorry to
money
cut you
also.
off. I
we
was
get-
reading.
we don't get our money back for him.
No, but this is funny. Yeah, I'm sorry
from
to
another
jump in, but I
source,
heard you
small
speaking
whistle.
about Dan James. But it was when they were talking about the Ismail Assar thing. I was reading, and he came out and he said, from what he was hearing, is that for Leeds, in order for Leeds to sign Ismail Assar or sign someone, it is dependent on Leeds letting a player go.
Yeah.
And the only player I think that would fill into that criteria is Daniel James.
Yeah.
Because we
You
wouldn't
mean-
be letting
you
go
mean-
of Aronson.
you
We
mean
wouldn't
in
be
a-
letting go of
In a
Sinistero.
swap
wouldn't be
deal,
letting
you
go-
mean?
No, just letting them go.
Yeah, I
letting
saw
them
that.
go to
but
sign a player.
Number one, I don't
I've
think we
swapped-
get
I mean,
our money back. We don't get 25 million from it for
But
it.
no, but it's
And
about the
Leeds
wages
would
and
not be
getting
happy
someone
to take that deal, not getting the money back. They're all
Yeah, but
about making money
also,
on these players.
If Watford said straight swap Star James,
Get it
Oh, yeah.
on, though.
No,
no,
yes.
I don't think they would, but you're taking it, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Yeah,
Assar's
of course
worth,
you are.
yeah, because we ain't getting
He's on
25.
wine tonight.
If they want to pay some money, if they want to give us 5-10 mil on top, then maybe
We
shorten the
ain't
deal a
getting
little bit.
25 million for James, right? But they value Sarr at 25 mil. So a straight swap, you're biting your hand off. But like you said, Joe, I don't think
he's on the wine tonight.
I also don't think that we do have to sign to sell a player to bring anyone in. I think that's bollocks. I think
we've got 40 million apparently.
But we've got the 49ers who Angus hinted at in the interview that they have conversations with the 49ers, with Radrizzani, and if they have a player, they don't just have a pot and say this is the budget. Or they do to a certain extent, but after that, they then will say, we want to sign this player. This is how much money we need for him. And then they'll ask that of Radrizzani or the 49ers, and then they will say, okay, we'll be willing to put this much forward. You've made your case to us. We're happy with that amount of money. But personally, I don't think we need to spend 40 million. I know you don't think that either, Lewis, because you're talking about Dennis for 12 million, 15 million pounds players.
We need a backup striker. If we needed a
10 goal a season Premier League striker is what we need. Somebody who can just be in the right place at the right time in the middle of the goal like a striker should be, because this team will create chances consistently for a striker to put in the back of the net. So we just need to sign somebody so that when Bamford's injured and Gelhardt's injured, we don't have to just rely on Rodrigo. Yes, Rodrigo's had a good few games. He's not the solution long term. We need a striker who stays fit.
And it's not
at their injury record and say he stays fit. Bring him in.
Yeah, and it's not a striker as well. We go, like we've said before, you need a striker coming in who's competing with Bamford, not being nice to Bamford, saying, he'll play when you're not there, going for that number 9 shirt, because I like Bamford, but yeah, like we said, he gets injured every season. We need someone who's going to score. I really like Danny Ings. I think Danny Ings would be perfect at Leeds.
Well, it's Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins, Mitrovic, Dennis.
Well,
I won't take
all these Tim Pot players.
I'm saying all these players that are on that level or that we've been linked with, they're all on the same.
Say his name again for me, Luke.
Who?
Alexander
Mitrovic.
I just like the way you say it, bro.
Mitrovic. I say it, how do you say it?
It's almost as good as Norwich.
I just say Mitrovic.
Yeah,
Mitrovic. I was Mitro,
man.
Mitro,
you're fucking.
Sorry, I stopped.
I do think that Danny Ings is actually a level above all of those other players.
Yeah,
I think
but we won't be able to get him, bro.
No,
I don't think he'd want to leave. I don't know why he would.
Is he that great?
Also, why does nobody give him stick for being posh, but everybody gives Bamford stick for being posh? Did you hear his interview?
Bamford, because because Ings looks like he's homeless, and Bamford looks like he lives.
I love Bamford, man. I love Bamford.
Yeah.
I like to go and have a nice
find someone who out posh.
I love him as much as the next man, but the guy's never fit, man. He's done.
Yeah.
I don't. Let's not say he's done. Let's not say he's done.
Man. He's done, man. He's like Ledley King. They're trying to manage him.
That's a bit. No,
they're managing him through training and that, bro. It's not.
It's interesting, yeah, because it's weird if you compare him to like a Firpo. In that, I was listening to some physio come up. No.
Here we go.
No.
More sources from
more sources than Heinz. This guy.
Yeah, but has Bamford ever had a good game against Blackpool though?
No, but if you look at him,
let me talk. Go on.
Oh, you're never gonna live that one down, are you? No, he's much like I'm not. He's if you look at someone like Bamford, his injuries are recurring from the same kind of thing, and it never really fully heals, and it goes over and over again, which is the thing that actually kind of scares me about Firpo's. In this video I was talking the other day, he said Firpo's ones are weird, like they're all completely different injuries, and he just keeps getting injured. Now, the thing with Bamford, do you think if we could just give him more time on the sidelines and not rush him in, if we could actually bring someone in? We keep bringing him back too quick. Like we've been talking when we were talking about this in pre-season. I said when we were talking in pre-season, doesn't look fit enough to me.
The thing is,
he played all right against Wolves, but you can't force him back.
Marsh keeps going on about managing Bamford as well. He keeps mentioning it and saying that we're managing him back to fitness. But you're doing it wrong then. You keep bringing him back too soon.
But that stresses how important he is to us, though, that Jesse's having to do this when really they should be going, don't worry about him. Here's some money for a striker.
Yeah.
I don't
Which is why
think
we're
it's
all
just Jesse,
screaming
though.
for backup, isn't
I
it?
don't
And
think
they
it's just. I don't think it's just Jesse, because even under Bielsa, the backroom staff, like, we rushed injuries back. Or like, do you remember the whole joke?
No, but this is why he's having to manage him, because the club for me are not giving him the tools.
Ruth, think of Ruth. How many times Ruth, and he was back, all like, and then injured, back, injured, because we seem to be so. I know it's funny to an extent that we get an injury and then we're always back straight away, and we're saying, "Oh, the work miracles and all this, and like Jesus and blah blah blah." But it gets to a point where it's not funny. Because you have to give injured players time, and
you
how
don't want
quickly
Bamford to be in the foreshaw, do you?
Exactly. How quickly Bamford came back against Wolves away was stupid.
Yeah, agreed.
Stupid, man.
Isn't it mad that the only thing the fans and everyone can see is that we need a left back and a striker, and that's the two things the club hasn't actually got?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because maybe the two, where Firpo's concerned, I think that is an asset and a buy which they don't want to admit hasn't worked yet.
Auto wants to back him.
13 million.
Because Auto knows what he's talking about. That's why. That's why he's backing him.
He needs.
And the striker position, I think maybe I know that they do want a striker. Let's be honest, they do. But there's a difference between wanting a striker and actively searching for one every single second of every single day, which they should be doing, right? But I think again, there's a bit of that pride there, which is I think they expected this to be Joffrey's breakout season. I think they expected Bamford to be back full time because we're not playing that Bielsa ball anymore. They're not absolutely done in. I think they expected. They're too proud of the Rodrigo asset and that money. They don't want that to go to waste, so they're putting all their eggs in one basket, hoping he comes good, which so far he has, fair enough. But we still need 4 strikers. We've got 3, and 2 are injury prone.
The thing is,
man.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah. So the thing is, I'm not unnecessarily like that when teams throw money at players. Where something goes wrong, like kind of how Man United are doing it. Something goes wrong. Oh, let's just chuck that money at it. I don't like, but the thing is, like we've been saying the whole time, it's been the last 2 years that we need a striker. Go and throw some money at it. We're actively saying, spend our money. Spend up. Do you know what I mean? That's what we just need. Like you said, just someone in the box, tap in goals. I always bring it back to this really niche, but when Ross McCormack, I can't remember what year it was top goal scorer in the Championship. Yeah, I think he got like 30 something goals. Yeah, and we finished like 15th. Imagine if you didn't get them 33 goals. We might have gone down that season. And that's how important a goal scorer is in a team. Like you can concede as many as you want. Concede 3, your striker goes and scores 4, you win the game. Do you know what I mean?
And also with the chances we create, like the chances we're creating under Bielsa, we should have been scoring way more goals, man. And the chances we're creating now, like we are back to it. It kind of got flattened out back in the last season, but now we're back to that point where, like I say, every time we go forward, you can see a goal, which is great because it did get.
Did we create many chances in the last game? The first half, what big chance did we have aside from James?
I think we'd create more chances if we knew there was someone there to finish.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Imagine if we actually had a striker for 38 games.
I think it'd instill confidence in everyone around that striker to know that.
I think
if Barrington puts the ball in, there's going to be someone there.
The perfect example is when we did have a fit striker for 38 games. He scored 17 goals and became 9th. That's the difference it can make.
Exactly.
If you've got a striker, but even if we bring one in, if Bamford scores, say Bamford continues to be injured, he scores 5 goals this season. If a backup striker comes in and scores 10, Rodrigo scores 10 maybe as well because he's already scored 3. Then you've got to think about spreading. If you can't buy Haaland, you've got to think about spreading your goals throughout your team.
Exactly.
Obviously, Man City do anyway, but if you've not got an elite goal scorer, you've got to think about ways that you spread that throughout the rest of your team.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because it's the thing where Man City, for ages, obviously we're not on the same level as Man City, but for ages they didn't have that striker, but they had goals in different areas. Do I think we're good enough to consistently other players around to get goals? Maybe more probably this season confident than I was last season. I know Rafinha was there, but he was kind of the only one. I feel more confidence in Aronson chipping in with some goals. Harrison's got a goal in him.
Cine, maybe.
Yeah, Cine I can't wait to see Cine full fitness. But the thing is, he's another. I know we're really digging into Rasmus, how he hasn't been brilliant. I know Cine's been injured. I know he's not had game time yet, but I want to see more. You know
We get 5. We've already got 1. We get 5, if not 10 more goals from set pieces this season.
Well, let's
that's
talk.
the main place going to come from.
Let's move it on to Chelsea, because I am really conscious of time. We're nearly done an hour and a half already, which means it
just flies, doesn't it?
It's what, 20 to 11.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
Aye.
Right, Chelsea. I'm not very confident, if I'm honest. I just want to see a performance. I'm not too keen on giving a score prediction because I think we might lose the game.
Let's hear it.
I'm really concerned about Reece James and Cucurella. From fullback, Mason Mount always scores against us. I've still got PTSD after last year's performance at Ellen Road, where we just crumbled, within a couple of minutes. And Rafinha was playing right wing back and stuff. It was
all the away one as well. Was away one was a struggle because we lost that right at the end and we gave away 2 penalties and one wasn't even a penalty, wasn't it?
Beautiful assist by Tyler Roberts.
That shows that we are good enough to get at them.
Yeah, I'd take a draw. I'd take a draw.
What's your score prediction? Come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe.
I want to see the confidence, or the cojones, should we say?
I think he's thinking a 5-0 lead. I think.
So do I. I got to agree with you there, Ollie.
They don't score an awful lot, Chelsea, and I'm not convinced by Havertz and Sterling, but I do fancy
Mount out striker.
Cooler Daddy.
No, yeah, it was class. Yeah, I just think we won 2-0 Chelsea.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
The heart.
Yeah. I think
even with Tuchel not there, actually they're going to bring Tuchel in. Disgrace.
Tuchel is there. He is there.
Disgrace to the sport.
So I think 2-0. I can't see us scoring past Koulibaly, Silva, James.
But then you've got to think about how slow that centre back partnership is. They're experienced, but if you can get Dan James in behind them 7 times, he might score 1.
I understand that, but when you watch like Thiago Silva though, like he doesn't have to be quick. He reads the game so well.
He's a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, and
if we won this game, it'd be huge, man.
That's why it was annoying.
It
was annoying about the Southampton result because imagine going into this game with 6 points and we could kind of be like, it doesn't really matter. Let's try and get a point. I'm not saying this is by no means a must win. I'm saying with you, Joe, we've got to see it. We've got to see a good enough performance, not one where we just turn over to a top 6 side.
Yes, we crumbled in this game last time. We crumbled, man. We were shocking.
Yeah, but we were just in that. Yeah. We were that club at that.
That's what I mean. So if we lose 2-0, but we've done well, I'll be like, right. Okay,
well, you kind of expect it, don't you? You kind of
I kind of expect to score every game now, though. It just seems like we're in a vein of form where even if we're going to lose, I think we're still going to score. I think we might lose 2-1 in this game, but I can't remember whether it was on this show or your show before, Lewis, but I was saying about how we have that opportunity to sit back but actually score from set pieces. I think that could be big for us. I think Pascal Strauch, Robin Koch, Diego Llorente, I think there are chances for us to score from corners. Even if we sit back and then try and score from set pieces, I think there are chances to score in this game, but I don't think it'll be enough, and I think we're going to lose 2-1.
Okay. Nice. What about you, Ollie?
I'm going to sound a bit JT right now, but I think we're going to watch Game of the Season on Sunday. I think it's going to be a lot of people are predicting. I'm not even necessarily saying Game of the Season for us, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot of predictions about being quite a boring game and stuff like that. I don't think so. I think I personally am predicting a 3-2 lead, which is a bit mental, I know, but I'm going into it with a bit of confidence. I know how good Chelsea are. I really do. And I don't want this to play back after we lose 5-0 or something. But also, I just feel a bit confident. Yes, we don't. I think we spoke about if Bamford is out, and we'll find from Marsh on Friday, I believe, if it's Sunday game. If it is Bamford out, I'll do Rodrigo up top, James, Aronson, and Harrison as the front four. I wouldn't mind seeing Rodrigo start, but you're right with James as well. He's got the pace. You can even chuck him up top as well.
Nice, Lewis.
Look, we've had a promising start to the season, which instills confidence, and I'm in better position to say now that I think we can get something against Chelsea than I would have been last season. But at the same time, we've got players out. They've got Sterling. They've got Mount. They've got James. I just think it's going to be too much for us. I think it's going to be a really end-to-end promising game, but I don't think we're going to have enough. And I'm going to say it could be 2-1 them. I'm going to say 1-1, hopefully. And I think it'll come from a set piece rather than open play as well.
That's somewhere where we can get on them, but I have saved JT till last because I'm expecting a nice one. So come on, JT, give it to us.
You know, that last game actually just really deflated me. The defensive performance from Leeds.
Yeah, you know, he's just. I think
wait,
he's just.
He's building
the way
I think.
No, honestly though, the way I just don't think we can. I just don't think we can defend. I really don't. And against a team like Chelsea with Raheem Sterling in there, literally the best winger in Premier League history, maybe just behind Rafinha, going up against us, he could skin us alive.
I'm not even going to
shell in there. Set pieces, we look a bit risky defensively. All right, mate. It's not that kind of show, Max. Close your mouth. No. Defensively, we're flipping poor, man. We're weak. There's a team like Chelsea with Raz coming through and tearing us a new one, man. It's going to be rough, man. They're going to score a couple of goals. They are going to score a couple of goals. I think it's going to be 2-4 Leeds United, because when you got Brendan Aronson storming up the other side of the pitch, you got Rodrigo Moreno in form, the Spanish Messiah, the greatest Spaniard to ever grace the Premier League, to ever grace the English game. Do you think some absolute oil rig like Cooler Daddy is going to be able to stop him, man? He's stiffer than my door when I haven't used WD-40 in about 5 years. He is weaker than Lewis's hairline, honestly, and I'm telling you something. When you've got, I would love it, and it's going to happen. All right, you're damn right. You're damn Brozio. You're damn Brozio. Dan James Brozio, 4-2 Leeds. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. Tuchel is going to get absolutely done up by Marsh on the touchline. He is going to absolutely slap his teeth down him. Mate, I'm telling you, Rodrigo is on form. You've never seen anything like him. He's going to bang like a house on fire. He's going to set the house on fire.
Love it.
Rocker, Adams, expecting big things. Look, we're still not going to be able to defend. We're going to concede 2 goals. Let's be real here. Cooler Daddy will score from a set piece, and so will Raheem Sterling. Will just score a beautiful finish. Probably a little chip over Meslier, but Aronson will score. Sidney Sorcerer will score, and Rodrigo will score 2. 4-2.
Love it.
Nice. I like that.
I'll take it.
I'll take 4-2 every day of the week, undefeated and that, top at table and all that sort of stuff, something like that anyway. But yeah, great stuff. Listen, thanks everyone for a fantastic show. It's really getting on. We've done an hour and 36 minutes, but like someone said in the chat, they've actually done an hour, like 2 hours and 30 minutes due to us being late. So big up to them. Big up to them.
Yeah.
Thanks as always for watching. Check out Max at Leeds Lately, JT at JT Live, Ollie at Ollie Ward, and Lewis at LUFC Lewis. And yeah, Lewis has got a new show dropping tomorrow. JT will have South Stand signings, and I'm assuming the other boys will be dropping something ahead of the weekend as well, as we take on the old rivalry with Chelsea. Yeah, Ryan's been here 3 hours. Poor guy. I am sorry for
my G putting in a shift.
Yeah.
Well, the video.
Me, Max, Ollie, and Joe have been sat here for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So we've had to put up with some poor jokes. I think the majority of them coming from me as well. So like, you know.
Well, I think I don't know.
I think mine are all right, man. Yeah, I just might get cancelled, but we'll
people
see.
have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, because I've literally.
It's going to be good though.
But yeah,
it's going to be very good.
Hopefully,
it involves a lot of Mason Greenwood, a lot of Adam Johnson.
Right, can we leave that there, please?
Right, and that's where we call it a night.
Yeah, that's where we call it a night. But he's not far wrong.
See
you in a bit. Bye, people.